Hello, my friend. It's Bonnie Brindle, the Anxiety Avenger here, welcoming you to week 2 of Practical Pilates 55 Plus. And this is lesson 1 in week 2. So we are going to revisit the 10 movements of the beginner modified Pilates training. And in addition, when we start today with the pelvic tilt, we're going to add a little piece to that we haven't done before. And then we're going to add a warm up for the legs before we move into the next movement. We'll do the rest of the training in the same order that you saw last week, and you choose your level, the level at which you feel comfortable with some effort that it takes to do the movements without overwhelming yourself or being in pain. And I will demonstrate each of those levels for you to choose from. And then at the end, when we get to the swan prep and rest, I'm going to add one little layer to the swan prep that might make that one a bit more easy to reach for everybody to start with. So yeah, we'll do all of that together today. And also, I will be putting up the Q&A recording for week 1, which I did not get to until yesterday, where I had a couple of questions that came through from members that I will answer there. And of course, those Q&A meetings can be live, where we can have discussions about the questions that we bring in the future. But as we're getting started here this time, I want to just make sure I answer those couple of questions that came up. So, okay. So you've got your mat. You've got your ball if you choose to use one. And if you do choose to use the Pilates ball for your exercises, where we are working at keeping the focus on the midline, keeping our knees, our legs together, make sure that you don't blow it all the way up. You don't want it super full. You should be able to squeeze it and dent it and, push in on it a little bit. That makes a lot more sense of using it here. Okay. All right. So if you use your Pilates ball, you want to do that. And also, when we get to the roll up, when we modify that, one of the ways we'll modify it is to use a strap. And to make one long enough, I put 2 belts together to use a strap to help you pull yourself up in the roll up. We'll also look at how to do the roll up modified from the finish going back, just not going all the way. But you'll see what I mean when we get to that. Okay, so, in addition to your mat and your ball, don't forget your water. Hydration, hydration, hydration. We need to keep ourselves hydrated in order to allow our muscles to work for us. Okay, so here we go. Onto your mat with your feet flat and roll yourself back. If you want to use your ball here, go for it. You're just using that to train yourself to keep the midline connected. And we're going to start with the pelvic curl. So feet are flat, and like before, you're going to lift up, roll up as you are engaging your core. Your hips will roll up like a wheel, and then roll out as you arch your back a little bit. Roll up, engaging that core, closing the ribs, and roll out. Just rock that back and forth a few times, letting your core know, letting your abdominal muscles know that you are getting ready to work. Rolling up. And everything in Pilates is done quite slowly and with intention. We never want to flop around or use momentum to move. We have intention to move, to flex, and to extend. 2 more. And then we're going to add a little shift to this pelvic tilt. So now that you're finished the tilting, you just relax where you are. It's called the neutral spine. So between the place where you are tilted upward and arched and tilted forward is the neutral spine. So in the neutral spine, you're balanced in the middle. You have a very slight curve. You can feel just a little bit of lift off your lower back off the floor in a slight curve. And so if you're tilting your pelvis and you feel your whole back down on the floor, that's not neutral. with your hip bones sitting straight up and a slight lift of that lower back, a little bit of an arch off the floor. That's your neutral pelvis. So you may hear me refer to returning to that as we continue. So now for your pelvis, rather than rolling forward and back, we're going to imagine lifting each hip up toward the armpit. So we're kind of swinging gently. I'm going to bring my right hip up to my right armpit, and then I'm going to bring my left hip up to my left armpit, and vice versa. And just waking the pelvis up and lower back and sacrum up this way. Lifting, sort of a little pull that hip up toward your armpit, back and forth, back and forth. Well done. Okay. And now let's get ourselves back to neutral pelvis. Before we move on to the chest lift, we're just going to warm up the legs a little bit. So we can put the ball aside if you used one for now. And hands flat down on the mat, arms down on the mat. And when we have our arms down on the mat, we want to press into the mat, like using those triceps pressing into the mat to use that tricep strength so they get exercise in all of the things that we do with our arms down. But at the moment, we want to engage your core and lift your left knee toward your chest and tap your toe down. Just lifting that leg and tapping the toe down. Lifting that leg, tapping the toe down. If you want to extend this just a little bit, reach out further with that leg before you tap and then lift. And you'll feel a little more work in that core when your leg is reaching out further. If you already feel work in your core, just lifting that knee and tapping down, continue there. Okay, whichever way you do that, 2 more on the left side. 1 and 2, and then back and switch. So now the right leg comes up, toe taps down. Bring that leg all the way up to 90 degree at the hip and 90 degree at the knee. Remember that tabletop we talked about before? And don't let your other leg flop out to the side. I have quite a habit of doing that. I have to always watch it. And then reach this one out. If you're feeling like you can work with make more core work for yourself, reach it out there and lift back up. Again, keeping the ribs knitted together, abs engaged. You should be able to feel this. And then if you want to go to the next level, carefully, bring both knees up to tabletop, right angle hip, right angle knee, tap both down carefully, keeping a hold of that core. You don't want to come up in an arch because then you're using your back. Engage the core and lift both. Engage the core and lift both. Tap down and lift. Tap down and lift. Tap down. There you go. 2 more. Nice and easy. And you can do this with 1 leg. If this is a little too difficult with 2, stick with that 1. And okay. There we go. All right, so we warmed up a little bit there as well. And now let's go into the chest lift. So you are, feet are on the floor, knees bent. You want to put your hands behind your head, low enough that you are supporting the base of your skull with your hands. Everything that we do with the head and neck up and chest up, we want to be sure that we're lifting from the core, not pulling on the neck. We're lifting from the core like this and down so that the weight of your head rests in those hands and the work is done through the core. Okay, so arms, elbows out to the side, hands behind your head. When you lift up, your chin goes toward the ceiling and then toward your chest and down, so that we're squeezing into that core and down. Push and down. Good job. That's it. Lift and lower, keeping the feet right where they are. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. If you want this to be a little bit harder, you can bring your knees up. Hold them at tabletop. Keep them still while you are also keeping the elbows out And that crunch comes up with the engagement and the exhale. The engagement and the exhale. That's it. You got it. 3 more. Exhale, engage. Oops, don't let those elbows come up. 2. And 1 more. 3. Well done. Okay. If you've had your feet up, you can put them back down. And now we'll go into chest lift with rotation. So again, the feet are flat and the core is engaged. Hands behind the head, elbows out. We're going to lift the chin, curl the chin in toward the chest, support that head with your hands, and then left armpit to right knee, and right armpit to the left knee. Down in the center, lift toward your right knee, and when you're lifting up, don't let your elbow get ahead. Don't let that elbow fold in. You want to keep the elbows out so that you're thinking of bringing the armpit across to that opposing knee and bringing the armpit across and back down. And when you want to add to this one, think about lifting that shoulder blade, really lifting that shoulder blade off the floor. Again, keeping your core engaged, your lower body quiet. And if you want to add one more level to this, instead of coming down to the floor here at the center, you can stay up. Turn in the center, keeping your head, neck, and shoulders up, and then over to the other side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and you can try a couple of these, just with your head, neck, and shoulders up. And then if they get to be really difficult, just bring yourself back down in the middle, into the center, in between. No problem. 2 more each side. Whichever way you choose to do that, bring that shoulder blade across if you can. That's 1. And again, engaging that core. I can really feel that when I keep myself up. Good job. Okay. And then rest down, take a breath. All right, now we're going to work on the spine twist supine. And of course, supine is just lying down face up. There's a couple different ways to do spine twist, but we'll start with the supine that we've done before. So engaging your core, bring your knees to tabletop. Excellent. Okay. And now the arms can go out to the side on the floor on this one to help you remain stable in your torso. And you're going to just drop both those legs to one side slowly, keeping the control here. It is the core that is moving those knees side to side and bringing them back up to the center. If this is new to you, just go a little way, just to where you can feel that core engage. You can feel those ab muscles working, and then back to the other side. If you are ready, you could go a little further with those knees, keeping them together, keeping the arms out the side to support yourself so you're not flopping around in the middle. There you go. Well done. Excellent. And the next level from that, and I only recommend this if you've been working on your core for a bit, but you can bring your arms down to your sides instead of out, spread out to the sides, bring them down to the side of your hips. And that makes that a little more challenging because you don't have the arms to keep that torso balance. So that adds more challenge to your core and gives you a little more of the tricep press into the mat. So do that with arms out to the side for support until your torso is stronger and you can easily support yourself with your arms to the sides. Spine twist supine. 1 more each side. Breathing. Breathing. Excellent. Okay. And then we're going with single leg stretch. So while we're here on the mat, my hair scrunchy. Down on the mat still, we're going to bring one leg in toward the chest. And I've mentioned to you guys before that in Pilates, we work a lot in opposition. One part of the body is working in one direction, another part is working in another direction, with the core supporting both. So in the single leg stretch, we're going to come back up to tabletop, grab a hold of the right leg with the right hand at the ankle, left hand at the knee. Left leg goes out straight like a dagger, like you mean it, with your toes forward, stretching out. And then you're opposing by bringing that right folded leg toward your chest. You can do this with your head down. What we're going to do is switch so that we're bringing the left knee in. The right hand is on that left knee. The left hand's at the ankle. And this right leg is sticking out like a dagger. Side to side, you want to push that leg out while pulling the knee in. And the core is what's working to keep the leg off the floor, to keep the work that it requires to be in opposition while you're pulling one knee in and one leg out at the same time. Excellent. Okay. And if you're feeling like this could take a little more challenge for you, just a little bit, you may lift your chin to the chest and have your head, neck, and shoulders up while you're doing it, and still reaching out. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Good job. And anytime you need to put that head down, it does take a while to build the strength in your neck to be able to hold yourself up using the head, neck, and shoulders. It does require you to use your neck a bit. And so you want to not overdo that to start with, a little bit at a time. 2 more. 1, 2. Good job getting that leg right out there straight like you mean it. And from the single leg stretch, we're going to go to the roll up. So you can get up off the floor in 2 different ways. You can roll to the side and push yourself up like this. Or when you're on your back and you want to bring yourself up, you can also reach behind your thighs and roll yourself up like that. Either way works. But the exercise we're going to now is the roll up. There's a couple different ways to modify this. First of all, I'm going to show you one we haven't really done yet, but I'm going to take a quick drink first. I don't think we've looked at the roll up from the finish back to part way to the start. So when you're sitting up straight with feet on the mat, and to roll yourself up from the floor, if you were flat out, this is where you'll end up. But we're going to start just with taking ourselves back a little bit and then coming forward. If you want to use your ball, if you have a ball and you want to use it on this one, this is fine. You want to roll back, keeping those legs together, ball or not, toward the midline. Rounding your back, engaging your abs, and rolling. So go as far back as you can while you're able to keep your feet on the mat. Roll back and up. If you're coming back to here and your feet are starting to come up, you're losing control of your core. So you want to come back only as far as you can while keeping those feet flat. Okay? And then the other way we can look at roll up modified is to start flat on the floor with a strap long enough to hold on to. So put that under the feet. Maybe if I come back a little bit, that'll be good. Put the strap under your feet so you're holding on to it here with your legs out straight, because that's where the full roll up actually lives. And you're going to roll yourself back gently so you're still holding on to that strap. If you have a stretchy band, that could be really great here too, but the belts will work fine. So what you're going to do in a roll up is lift your chin to the ceiling just a little bit and then toward your chest, and then roll yourself, pulling that core in as you go, little by little, as if you're leaning over a basketball, and roll yourself forward till your arms are out and your head is down between your arms toward your knees. Oh, that's a lovely stretch. And then start again. Roll yourself back gently and roll up, engaging that core. I'm going to keep my arms down so you can really see that. Engaging your core, so you're rolling, rolling, rolling up and over like you're rolling over a ball, and then reaching forward again, letting your head drop. If you're ready for the next level without the strap, I'll just set that down. The roll up actually starts in full extension with arms back over your head. And again, we're going to lift up so that the arms and shoulders come together so that the arms stay close to the ears through the whole exercise. And I find that really difficult to keep them right next to my ears the whole time. It's tough. But you're going to inhale and then exhale with that lift. Pulling those abs in, up and over that basketball on your lap, and head down, arms outstretched, and then roll back. So that is the goal for roll up, is to be completely stretched out. Lift yourself from there, up and over. Okay, so again, you can use the strap to help you if you want to get down to the floor. You can start the roll up with feet flat and just rounding the back and using that core to keep yourself up. And the feet need to stay flat on the mat, so they'll tell you how far you can go back depending on your ab strength and keep them on the mat. If you go back too far for your level, your feet will come up and you don't want that. So go back just as far as they will stay down and then engage and come back up. So whatever level you're working on, that rolling like a ball is a great exercise for the entire core and for your arms over your head as well, to get some stretch into your shoulders. Okay, so now we're going to move from the rolling up into rolling like a ball. And rolling like a ball, again, feet are flat and comfortably as close as you can get your heels to your sit bones comfortably. Some people can bring them right in close here. Others of us are working here. Whatever works for you right now is the right thing. So you're going to bring your arms out to the side so your hands come to the outside of your ankles, just like that, okay? And you are really going to turn yourself into a ball as close as you can get. So you're bringing your heels toward your sit bones and your head down between your knees. Just hold there a minute. Just feel that. And then see if you can challenge yourself to bring your heels maybe another ½ inch toward your sit bones. Rolling yourself over. Okay, so wherever they are, if you're out here, that's great. If you're in here, that's great. Just wherever you are, those hands are on the outside of your ankles. And what we're going to do to modify the rolling like a ball is to balance, because the core strength will give you the ability to balance, which then will give you the ability to roll all the way back and all the way up and stay in balance. So here we want to engage the core around the back, dip the head between the knees, and just lift off. Lift your feet off the mat. My feet are not touching. This takes core control to be able to stay here without falling over. If you do fall over, whoops, just roll yourself back up and start again. Lifting those feet off the mat and just hold that control. Now, when you first start working on rolling like a ball, it's pretty hard not to come apart. When you roll back and then you roll up, and sometimes you get stuck here and you got to lift yourself up with your thighs, and that is fine. That's getting toward the goal. The goal looks like this. The heels are in close. The ears are in close to the knees. We roll back and roll up without touching the mat. We stop right here and can balance. We roll back, roll up, and balance. Roll back, roll up, and stay in balance. That's the goal. Most of the time when I was practicing this and learning how to do it, I would go back. I would get stuck sometimes and have to kick myself forward. And then sometimes as I was getting better, I'd roll back, but I'd have so much momentum right here that my feet would hit the mat and I wouldn't be able to stop and control that balance. So wherever you are today is fine. You're getting toward being able to do this. Now, going back to the to the very beginning of it, the very first start is to be able to lift your feet off, stay rounded, and just balance yourself. So work on that if rolling like a ball is new to you, and that's fine. So we're going to do whatever level you have, lift and come back, or roll back and pull yourself up, or roll back all the way, get all the way up and see if you can balance. We're going to go 5 times, okay? So wherever you are. If you're balancing right here, you might actually play with pushing yourself a little bit and seeing if you can almost come back and then bring yourself up, because that's the beginning of starting that balance. Otherwise, 1, you can roll back all the way, 2, and work on staying in balance, 3, 4, and it's okay if you get back there and you get stuck. Grab your thighs, roll yourself forward, using that core right there, pull yourself together, and you're back. Good job. All right, rolling like a ball. That's one of my favorites. That's fun. And it took me a while to be able to do that and stay in balance. It's not easy. So now we're going to go for leg circles. So rolling yourself back. You're still in the view? Yep. Okay. With leg circles, we're flat on our back. Hips are quiet. And the core is engaged, ribs are knit together, core is engaged, hip stays quiet. And we're going to lift one leg. We're going to start this time on the right. So with the left leg bent, we're going to bring the right leg up to vertical. If this right angle is a little more than you can comfortably reach at this time, that's fine. It can be out here at the 45-degree angle, wherever you're comfortable, with that left leg bent and the left foot on the floor. We go 5 times in each direction in a circle, stopping at the top. So if you're up here, you get that right leg, you're going to go across your body, down, around, and back up with a full stop. You can have a flexed foot, which is classical, or you can have a pointed toe, whichever you feel like your foot needs right now. And we're going to go down, around, and up with a stop. Across the body, around, and up with a stop. Across the body and up. Nice quiet torso. There you go. Exhale, inhale, one more, inhale. And we're going to now switch directions. So that leg stays up, going out to the side, down, around, and up. And if you're down here at 45, that's great. Out and around and up. Whatever you can do to keep that circle moving, stopping it at the top, and keeping your hips and your torso quiet on the floor. 2 more. 1 more. Excellent. Okay, the full extension of this exercise is this leg that is up is at 90 degrees at the hip, and the bottom leg is out straight with a flexed foot. Makes it quite a bit more difficult to have your leg up this high. And again, it's just the same, down, around, and up without flopping around in the middle. But let's switch sides for now. So your right leg, your right knee is bent, your right foot is on the floor, your left leg comes up to whatever level you can comfortably circle it. Out here is actually maybe a little bit harder than 45 degrees, it seems. But if you can get toward 90 degrees, great. Wherever you are is fine. The foot can be flexed or pointed. Classically, it is flexed, but whatever you feel like your ankle and foot need right now. So it is across the body, down, around, up with a full stop. Abs engaged, core engaged. Down, around, and up, and hips are quiet. All that's moving is that leg. Down, around, and up. 2 more in this direction. Good job. Keep breathing. Looking good. Okay, and then reverse. So flexed foot or pointed foot, that's out, around, up, and stop. Hips are quiet, torso stays right where it is. 3 more. 2 more. Making sure to stop at the top. 1 more and stop. And throw an extra in just for fun. There we go. And again, the extended level of this exercise is that leg on the floor is out straight with a flexed ankle, and classically flexed ankle on the leg that's up at a 90-degree angle, and we'll go around from there. But we can modify everything. So that bent knee can just help us keep our balance when this straightening out the lower leg and lifting the top leg can definitely make it harder to keep your torso and hips quiet at first while you're building strength on the leg circles. Okay, so now we're going to go to our side for side kick series, which is basic. And again, you can roll over to your side and push yourself up. You can lift yourself forward using your core by grabbing onto the back of your thighs. Bring yourself up. So side kick series. Oh, my mat got a little crooked. There we go. I'm going to be down on your side. There's a few modifications for this. Oof. I can't wait till my hair grows out to where it can stay in a ponytail. You can start with your arm out straight on the mat with your head on your bicep and your legs out straight, so that you run your hand over your hips. You can feel your one hip on top of the other. Then bring both legs forward just a bit so that they're maybe 6 or 7 inches from your ankles and maybe 6 or 7 inches ahead of where your hips are. Just bring your both legs up together, and that's usually where we work from on the side kick series. So you can have your arm again down on the floor with your head on your bicep, and your left arm, in this case your upper arm, can be on the mat to help keep yourself from rocking back and forth like this. As you build strength in your core, you can use your core more to keep yourself from rocking. Right now, adding this brace in the front can really help a lot, and I almost always have some level of support here for myself. I don't like my spine moving around. So you can have that head down. You could also have your head in hand without pushing up on your neck too much, but have your head right at your ear, your hand right over like where your ear is, and your elbow out. You could also do these exercises up on your elbow. In this case, you want to make sure that you're not dropping in, sagging into your elbow, lifting yourself up, and also that your torso stays lifted, doesn't get floppy down toward the floor like this. So ideally, when you're on your elbow, you're lifted through the shoulder and you're lifted through the torso. Okay, so with the side kick series, we're going to start with lifting that top leg and just bringing it forward with a flexed foot. Again, you can brace yourself in the front here, and back with a pointed toe. Bring yourself forward and back only as far as you can without swinging your upper body, without compensating above your hip. The only thing that should be moving is that leg. You're going to reach that flexed foot forward, pointed toe backward, keeping your shoulder lifted, your torso lifted, or if you're here, this is also fine. You want to balance yourself in the front. Flexed foot front, pointed back. 4 more. 1. Good job. That's it. Making sure to engage that core. We got 2 more. Flexed foot front, pointed back. Flexed front, pointed back. Good job. Okay, now that leg, the top leg is going to go back over the bottom leg. And that foot is going to be flexed. You can see it here. And we're just going to lift and lower. And again, you might be here. Lift it up onto the shoulder, torso off the floor, lift and lower. And you'll feel that a lot more here when you are up on the elbow, when you're ready for that. You can put your hand on a hip if you want, front and balance if you want. 3 more for these, and then we're going to add 1 to this side kick series that we haven't done before. 2 and 1. Okay. And now we're going to do 5 more of this leg lifted, but we're going to, I'm going to put this here so you can see me, rotate from the femur, rotate so that your toe is pointing up toward the ceiling and lifting from there. 5, 4, 3, again, whoops, there goes my torso. 2 and 1. Good job. Okay, now everybody, with your head down onto your bicep, you're going to lift that front leg and just plant the foot in front of you. And you can hold on to the shin if that feels comfortable. And that bottom leg with a pointed or flexed foot, we're going to lift and lower for the inner thigh while the core is engaged. So lifting and lowering. 5. Excellent. 4, keeping that core engaged. 3, and the torso and hip quiet. 2
and 1. Excellent. Way to go. Okay, so we added a little to that side kick series that we didn't have before. So again, push yourself up and to sitting, and then we're going to switch over to the other side. You can bring yourself the other side of your mat. And again, it's your choice if you want to stretch that arm out and have your head on the bicep. Legs out straight, one hip on top of the other, and then just bring your feet forward about 6 inches. Perfect, right there. Keeping that top hip above the bottom hip. And if you choose, you can lift up onto your elbow. Again, don't sink into it. Lift up through that shoulder and lift up through the torso. This is how it should look when you are engaged in your shoulder and your torso to hold yourself up. Okay, so again, we're going to go forward and back with this. So the top leg lifts a few inches up off of the bottom leg, and you can flex forward, engage that core so you're not moving your body, and point back to whatever degree you are able while keeping the torso quiet and lifted if you're up. If you're not up, that's fine. You're on your bicep and you're forward and you're back. And that front hand is in front of you to help keep your balance. Let's add 4 more to this. 4, point back, abs in, 3, good job, good job. 2, nice and smooth, and 1. Feel that glute when you push that back leg back with the pointed toe. Feel that glute engaging right there, along with your engaged core. And then down. And then now we're going to lift that leg up just a little bit and turn the toe to the ceiling, but the whole leg, not just the ankle. We open from the femur into the hip, and that makes the toe point toward the ceiling. And we're going to lift up and down. And whether you're on your elbow or your bicep, if you're on your elbow, you're lifting up through the shoulder, your torso is off the floor. 4 more, lift nice and easy, smooth. Pilates is always smooth and intentional. 2 more, lift, lower, and lift, and lower. Good job. Okay, now we'll go into bringing that top leg forward so that the foot is in front of the leg that's on the mat. And you can hold on to the shin, around the shin. You can put your hand down here, whatever's comfortable. But our intention here is to either flex or point as you wish. Engaging the ab, lifting the torso off the floor if you're here. And we're just lifting from the inner thigh, that bottom leg up slowly and releasing slowly. Don't flop it down, make it work. Lift and lower. 3 more, up. And making squeezing that midline, both thighs together. 2 and 1. Excellent. Yes, you're doing it. I'm so happy. So happy for you. Your body loves you for this. Okay, we're going to roll over and do our swan prep a little differently than last time. So I'm going to stop for a quick drink here. Okay, onto your belly. Roll over gently. We're going to do the swan prep, and then we will also add the heel beats. Just a few heel beats to get that extension going. So swan prep, we've started here before with the hands on the mat and the elbows at the sides. I'm going to come back here a little bit. Yeah, we've started here before. Today we're going to start a little bit differently. So bring your forehead down to the mat, but put one hand on top of the other, rested in front of you. So your right hand is down on the mat, your left hand is on top of that, and your forehead is on top of your left hand. Engaging your abs and relaxing your toes relaxing your feet so your toes are on the floor. You're going to engage your abs, engage that core, and keeping your hands attached to your forehead, just going to lift through the upper back and down. Again, lift and lower gently, very gently, slowly, engaging the abs to help yourself lift engaging the muscles in your back. That's all your core powerhouse. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. 2 more. Lift, lower, and lift and lower. Now we're going to work for a little bit with around the shoulder or rotator cuffs. We want to be really gentle with this one, but we're going to keep the forehead to the mat and arms on the floor like a goalpost. So they're out to the side from your shoulders and they're on the floor. And we're just going to lift the arm, the hand and wrist and forearm off the floor. So you're like this on the floor. Both sides at the same time, just lift those hands up and roll down. And you'll feel this right up into your shoulder. And down. And lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. Okay. Now hands are going to stay down and the elbows are going to come up with your head, your forehead on the mat. Just the elbows. 2 more. Okay, and now that whole goalpost. So when you lift this time, you're lifting the hands to the elbows, keeping them flat and straight, and just lifting up between the shoulder blades with your head on the mat. Lift up, exhale, and inhale. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale, and inhale. 2 more. 1, 2. Good job. Okay, and we'll end it with the regular swan prep where your palms are on the floor in front of you, elbows in close, and just gently, don't throw your neck back here. Just gently keeping your head straight off of your spine. Get ready for an exhale, so breathe in and lift yourself from the elbows using your back muscles, sucking up your belly off the floor and down. And again, lift up. That's it. You got it. And down. Just 2 more. Keeping that head straight off the spine and eyes forward and down. Lift 1 more. And down. And then we will end with our resting position where we tip our knees out to the side a bit, our hips back over our feet, over our heels, and stretch. Oh, it feels so good. I'm going to stretch here. And then take the left hand across over on top of the right one. So you're stretching for your side. And left hand across, right one over here. Stretch the other side. And then at whatever level you can do this, right at this point, we're going to go toward an upward and downward dog stretch to come to our very end. So whether you're on your hands and knees, you can bring your hands forward a bit and bring your knees back. If you want to do this on your knees, let your hips drop a little to the front and stretch forward with your chin. Don't jam your neck. Stretch yourself back. Stick your butt back there and stretch through your shoulders and arms and forward again. We will work up to being able to do this on our toes. But right now, on our knees is perfect. Okay, and then when you get ready to roll up, you bring your elbows in close, engage your core, pull up on those abs, roll up through your back. Your head's always the last thing to come up. And there you go. There you have it. Great job today. Woohoo! Week 2, lesson 1. You are making progress. I'm so excited for you. So I will go back and find that Q&A video from the end of last week. Just a couple questions on there that people asked that might be useful for you to know about. And I will go ahead and post that. And then I will see you again on Friday when we record the second lesson for week 2. Okay? Until then, look forward to seeing you then and take care of yourself. Okay.
Bye-bye.